almost 2.5 years. We have one of the largest teams at eXp, right around 2,000 agents on our team in 44 states and 3 provinces of Canada. For those of you, that have been with us for a while, you know many of the leaders. I think there are 5 of us now that are making 6 figures monthly in revenue share. And in 2 of those people, the first number is not a straight number. It's a crooked number. So you can figure that out on your own. But it's very exciting. The blueprint has been laid. The foundation has been built. And we are so fired up about what's happening with the growth of eXp now being on the NASDAQ, now going over 11,000 agents, around the country. So again, my name's Scott Lewis. Super excited to just cover the basics with you of agent attraction today with an all-star lineup. So with that being said, we're going to get started. And again, this is for your eyes only. If you want to record it, you're welcome to. Just please do not share this anywhere on the internet. So,
Scott, excuse me. I'd like to record it, but it's telling me I need to ask for permission.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. So you can try that and ask, but I'm not sure how to make that work. So if something pops up, I'll allow that. So still more people logging in here. So congratulations on joining us this morning. Congratulations on being part of the fastest growing real estate company in U.S. history, changing the game. And man, what a crazy time we're in. So I'm having a hard time keeping up. I don't know why I'm having to let people log in, or I'm having to admit everyone. So I got to change that setting before our next meeting. All right, so just some of the basics that I want to cover, and then we're going to, again, go through our lineup today. I think the number one thing is, everyone on here, if you haven't gone into Workplace, you should be in Workplace, and you need to listen to Vicky Bartholomew's Agent Attraction video, and you need to take the quiz. So most importantly is you need to be aligned with the Agent Attraction Pledge as you're attracting agents to the company. And I will tell you that there's nothing in that pledge that precludes us from doing the right things, all right? Everything in there is made to keep us in order and to stop some of the crazy things that have been going on in the marketplace that really do give us agents a bad name out there. So one of those things, is spamming, and, we could talk about that. This really, I've recruited 90-something personals to eXp, over 1,900 and something on my team, and I will tell you, not one of those agents has joined my team because I sent them a spam email or a spam Facebook message or a spam LinkedIn message. Everything we do is targeted. It's targeted at relationships. It's targeted at building relationships. It's targeted at creating and working those relationships and growing those relationships. And I will also tell you that I've never had one person see the video and say, hey, I'm ready to join eXp without some dialogue, right? So there's an upfront dialogue, there's, getting them to do their due diligence, and then there's follow-up. And we're going to talk about some of those things today towards the end. There's a few basics that I can tell you that everyone that I know that's on my team, and even not on my team, but Rob and Gene down, there's a few things that every one of those people are doing and doing consistently. And I will tell you that the people that are doing those are experiencing success. And the first thing is, I don't know a single person on my team that's exploding or growing very quickly that does not have a wealth chart, right? If you're new to eXp and you don't have a wealth chart, don't go to bed tonight without creating one and putting it on your wall. we say this over and over and over again, but the importance of goals and the importance of keeping your vision out in front of you is so important, guys, and that wealth chart really helps you with that. The other thing that I know most of my leaders are doing is they have a vision board, and some of you came on here and you go, well, I want to hear how to do it. What are you saying? And let me tell you this, that none of that matters until you know why you are doing this, all right? And once you figure out why you're doing it, everything else will fall into place. Once you know why you're picking up the phone, why you're going to the events, why you're focused on building the revenue share team, everything else will happen. And so get those visions, get those dreams, get those goals, dust them off, get them out in front of you. And, it can be painful, right? For some of you, it may be putting the kids into college, or maybe it's, taking care of a loved one. And for others of you, maybe it's a Ferrari or a helicopter, something extravagant. It doesn't matter what it is. All that matters is your subconscious has to get excited about pursuing that. And once your subconscious gets excited about pursuing that, then you will start doing the actions that are required and that are necessary to make it happen. And so that vision board, that wealth chart is critical to your business. And in Team Disruptors, in the file section, all of the things that we're talking about today are located in those files. So you should be able to find those. I'm not going to cover all those basics today. You guys are smart. You know where to go to get that. But get the wealth chart built. I got 2 text messages yesterday from people I didn't know that sent me pictures of their wealth chart. So it shows me that they're duplicating. And duplicating, Tom Truong, is the secret to wealth, right? We all remember J. Paul Getty. J. Paul Getty said, I'd rather have, 1% effort of
100 men
than 100% effort of
myself.
Right. Because, Tom Truong, you're an awesome looking guy, and you got more energy than anybody I know, but you don't have as much energy as 100 people, right? And when you have 100 people on your team that are duplicating and doing the same things, and when you log into your enterprise account, like I did yesterday, at our biggest day of the year, we had 29 agents join our team yesterday. You know how many of those agents I knew? None of them.
None of them. That's incredible.
I've never talked to one of them, right? 29 agents joined the team, never talked to one of them. Most of them, I didn't even know their sponsors, right? And so that is duplication. That is the secret to wealth. That's what you guys are looking for. I assume that's why you're here today. And so, that's what we're going to talk about is how do you create duplication? The most important thing for creating duplication is for you to look in the mirror and go, do I want to have 100 people doing what I do? And if you can't say that honestly, then you have to start working here first, right? You got to work on yourself, and you've got to be that person that you want to see duplicated, right? And so for some of you, you've got to do some self-development. You're going to have to work on yourself. You're going to have to spend money on yourself. You're going to have to go to events. I think it was Jonathan Dupree posted yesterday. Awesome post. We talked about, for those that, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it talked about continuing to be in the learning mindset. No matter how great of an agent you are, there's always something else we can learn. And so we're all building, growing, and learning this great company together. And so that's why we come together. I got to let some more folks in here. Sorry, guys. And, so we're just super excited. And there's so many things that we could cover. But the main thing is, guys, work on yourself, learn the basics. If you get it started, the momentum will take over. It will start to duplicate, and it's going to give you financial freedom like you've never had before. And I would tell you, to have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month, or maybe for some of you, $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 would get you really fired up or excited. all of that's very, very doable in a 2 to 5 year plan here at eXp. So just stay focused on the basics, and we're going to come back to that at the end. But without further ado, I'm going to turn it over here in a second to my good friend out in Phoenix. For those of you that don't know Bob Mangold, Bob has built a couple of really big offices. Prior to this, he's also was big in the mortgage business. He's built a huge team at eXp. I believe he already has 40 personals on his team, so he's getting paid on that divine 7th level. He's a very modest guy. I know he doesn't like me talking about that, but I'm sorry, Bob. I just couldn't help it. That's a huge milestone. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
So Bob is going to be talking to you. But Bob is one of the best in the business when it comes to explaining the rev share and the benefits of it, and really the value of it. What does it mean to you financially? And so you're going to want to take some notes on this one, I promise you, because you're going to use this in your presentation. So welcome to the call, Bob, and the floor is all yours, sir.
All right, perfect, thanks. So here's something I'd like you to write down. Your income is directly proportional to the power of your questions. Because what I find is, well, really in any business, but especially at eXp, every agent wants to do benefit dump. Right? Let me tell you about this great rev share, and let me tell you about the stock, and let me tell you about this, and let me tell you about that. And at the end of the day, if you'll stop doing that, you'll simply ask questions. You'll be shocked at the difference in your results. And then if you can structure your questions to the point where they can't say no, or they're nuts. Either case, I don't want to work with them, right? But if we can take those questions and structure them properly, then we can get them to do that. So how many guys, raise your hand because I can see you, have heard eXp is only about recruiting, or I don't want to recruit, or I'm not a good recruiter, any of those, right? So instead of doing a benefit dump on that, what if we ask this question? So who wants to role play with me? Unmute yourself and role play.
Go ahead, Bob.
All right. Is that Tom?
Good. Doesn't matter.
All right. So Tom, you're the loudest.
All right.
So Tom, let me ask you this. If I could actually show you how you could build about $1.5 million annuity, paying you $36,000 a year by asking one more question, would you want to know what the question is?
Certainly.
And can you imagine what life would be like if you had an extra $36,000 a year coming in that you couldn't exhaust the principal? What would your life be like if that were to happen?
1 or 2 or 3 less car payments I've got to make, Bob.
I mean, could you imagine having your mortgage and car payments and maybe credit cards being paid for instead of having to take that money out of your commissions?
That would be a really cool thing.
So if I could teach you how to ask one question, you would do it.
Certainly.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
The one question, do you guys know what it is? You ever heard of eXp? Every real estate agent that you come across, every mortgage person that you've ever come across, well, ask a different question. But what if every person that you came across, you asked some form of that question? So real estate agent's easy. You ever heard of eXp? Your mortgage person, ever heard of eXp? Your title person. What about, let's say, the server at a restaurant? It would be a bit different. Hey, Tom, do you happen to know a real estate agent who's looking to make more money because I'm expanding here in the Phoenix market? Any friends or relatives that are in the real estate business that are looking to make more money?
Sure, Bob.
And then if they know them, would it be okay if a server said, yeah, my brother-in-law is?
Sure.
And if I could call them and talk to them about how they could make more money doing real estate, and is it okay if I let them know you told me it was you that referred me?
Absolutely.
Because now I can call them up and say, you know what, I met your friend Tom at Yard House, and he had told me that you're in the real estate business and looking to make more money. Right now, everybody would want to dive into, hey, let me tell you about eXp. Then you start with questions, right? Hey, Tom, how much more money do you want to make? You know, what's your biggest obstacle so far? What have you tried? Ask questions. Don't just start benefit dumping on people. So how do I come up with that $1.45 million annuity? Anybody know? I know Pat doesn't. So it's pretty simple. It's $36,000 a year. If you were to take and go online and just punch in CD rates, you'll find that you can do a 2-year CD at 2.45%. So how much money would you have to put away to pay you at 2.45, $36,000 a year? The answer is $1.469 million. In essence, guys, if revenue share is paid monthly, isn't that the same effect financially as an annuity? Right? You put X dollars away and you take Y dollars out on a monthly or an annual basis. So how much money do I need to put away at 2.45% to pull out $36,000? The way you do the calculation on that is you divide 36,000 by 0.0245, and you'll come up with $1.46 million. So legitimately, I can show people how to do that. Now, where does the $36,000 come from? Anybody know that one? It's the 6x6. Tom, I just simply have to help you talk to 6 agents who would want to do exactly the same thing, that would want to be able to take and fund a retirement plan simply by asking one question. So Tom, I don't need you to do any more work except ask one more question at closing, or ask one more question when you talk to a realtor, or when you go and do your CE hours, ask one more question. I don't need you to do anything else like except that, and I need you to learn how to be good at asking that question. You could do that, right?
Yeah, I can.
So the other thing, guys, if you also notice, if you make a statement and you end it with right or make sense, does that make sense, Tom? Wouldn't you want that? So you can make statements and end it with a question, to the point where if you ask or make the statement where it's so good that they have to say yes, you have it. And you can do all that instead of trying to benefit dump. So if we understand the value of what we're really building, I wouldn't even want to calculate what Scott and Tracy's rev share is worth on an annuitized basis, or Pat's on an annuitized basis. But guys, it's in the tens of millions of dollars. And what, I won't use any of Pat's numbers, but at one point we were talking about it, and it's like in a matter of 2 years, he put a multi-million-dollar annuity in place from simply asking one question. You ever heard of eXp? Another twist on that one of my people came up with was, Tom, you're such an awesome agent, and how is it you're not at eXp yet?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know anything about eXp.
Right. So there's only 3 answers to that, right? I don't know anything about it, or I've heard about it. It's that damn recruiting thing, or tell me more. Well, all I have to do is have an answer for all 3 of those outcomes. And so if you prepare that in advance, right, that you actually spend a little bit of time learning those things and thinking this process through, it's fairly simple. So what we do, we work with our people on teaching them those questions and how to answer them. And so at the end of the day, if you have those answers ready, but again, the answer isn't a benefit dump, it's another question.
That's awesome.
So Bob, let me just end with one thing for you. So Bob, yeah, I heard of that. I don't want to get recruited, man.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again?
I don't want to get recruited.
You don't want to get recruited?
I heard about it. I'm not interested. I'm not looking.
Perfect. I don't want to recruit you either. See, we're only looking for people who are looking for us. And what I look to do is help people change their complete financial future. And if you're happy and comfortable with where you're at, absolutely no problem. But Tom, if you ever get to the point where you wanted to change your life and you wanted your business to be different, well, we're here for you. Here's one more thing I'll leave you in closing, Tom. If I were to sit down with your wife and ask her and let her know that I could teach you to ask one question, and you could take and have the equivalent of $1.45 million that would give her an extra $36,000 a year, what would she tell me?
That's pretty awesome.
Thanks.
That hits home right there, man. I love it.
And if it's a female agent, I just ask the spot, hey, if you're a husband, if I was to sit there and do that, because you'll hear, oh, I don't want to switch companies. I'm happy where I'm at. Well, would you be happier if you had $1.45 million annuity paying you $36,000 a year? And then what would your spouse think?
I like it. Very good.
Hey, Bob, I want to share a story about you really quickly. And you and I were at lunch in Dallas about 3 months ago, and I experienced this with you. We were bragging on the waiter and talking about how great the food was, and you asked him, if he knew any real estate agents in the area, and really built him up, talked about how awesome the restaurant was. Tell everybody what happened by the time we left that restaurant.
Well, he actually went back into his office, and the little books that they have that with the business card holders, the little plastic sleeves. The guy literally went back to his office, got that out, and handed it to me. Said, "Here, take it. Call anybody you want, and tell them I referred you." And
they were all real estate agents, right?
Most of
them. So how many leads did you get from that lunch?
There were 13 in there that we got a hold of or returned a call. Haven't brought any of them on board yet, but close on 2 of them.
Close on 2 of them. Wow. And so tell everyone, so you've got this Rolodex now, or these business cards that were given to you from someone at a restaurant. So how would you make that phone call? We got 2 minutes left before we turn it over to Pat Hayes. So if you're going to call that agent, tell everyone how you would call them and how you would introduce yourself.
It's pretty simple. Hey, if whoever the guy's name, hey Bob, my name is Bob Mangold with eXp Realty out in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was referred to you by Oscar Torres over at Shoal Creek Tavern. He told me you were an awesome agent, in that you might be open to different ways in which you could make more money in real estate. And I just wanted to call and introduce myself and see how I might be able to help you.
So what is it, Bob? I mean, what is it you're doing? What are you looking for?
Well, ultimately, Scott, what I would ask is, tell me what your biggest challenge in real estate is right now today. And then I'll take whatever they say. I'll go, well, what have you tried so far? I mean, what are you trying? And then finally, if that doesn't work, what else do you have planned? And then I'll start asking Scott, so when you close a transaction, how many times do you get paid? Right? They always look at you like you've got rocks in your head. Well, no, I could be paid up to 5 different ways in a closing. If you could start getting paid multiple ways at a closing, is that something you'd be open to?
How many of you like that? Raise your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Is that good stuff or what? Man, Bob, you are awesome. I wish we had more time. And I know you do your own trainings. I know a lot of people on here participate in your trainings. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you next week in Phoenix. All right, up next, the very one and only Mr. Pat Hayes. Pat Hayes, for those of you that don't know Pat is a rock star here in San Antonio. He has a team of somewhere around 1,000 agents or close to it on his team. He's been with us for a little over 2 years, built an amazing organization, just got back from Calgary, Canada, where he's building a big team out there. And I know he is fired up. So Pat Hayes, anything you want to cover outside of this is great, but we're trying to stick to a schedule here. So we want you to talk about how you attract agents through social media. So
yes.
Carry on, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott. We'll, man, I'm fired up to see all 85 of you guys here on a holiday weekend, Saturday morning at 9:30, sharing your time with us. So great job, guys. You're here at the right place at the right time. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Pat Hayes here in San Antonio. Scott Lewis actually gave me that life-changing phone call about 30 months ago to hear the opportunity. I was blown away. So I thank Scott, every day and every time I see him for, absolutely changing my life, guys. This is a truly a life-changing opportunity, and I'm here to help every one of you guys. So a little bit about me and my numbers. I've actually been here at eXp now again for 30 months. I've personally introduced 29 agents to eXp in 30 months. Out of those 29 agents, I built a RevShare organization of 985 agents spanning 33 states and Canada. So, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. And the reason why I say I can do it, I've been in the real estate industry here in San Antonio for about 4.5 years. And I started off my career at a brokerage firm, boutique brokerage firm here in San Antonio. And so whenever I joined eXp, I had about 2 years in real estate here in San Antonio. And so I really honestly did not know a lot of agents. So I had closed about 75 transactions in 2 years, but just locally here in San Antonio. And so I wasn't a Brent Gove. If you guys don't know Brent Gove's a rock star up in Sacramento, California. He's been in the real estate game for over 20 plus years, knows agents all across the country, and a lot of agents know him. And so I didn't have that influence like a Brent Gove. And so what did I have to do? I needed to start using social media to reach out to agents and start building relationships with agents. And so, of course, Facebook groups, Instagram, LinkedIn. And so I want to kind of tell you a success story. One of my big agents, I'm not sure if he's on the call here. I was texting with him a little bit ago, Matthew Ron from Raleigh, North Carolina. I actually attracted Matthew on Facebook without even knowing him about 2 years ago. And so we're part of a lot of real estate related Facebook groups. And I was watching him and his success. He was posting a lot of his $1 million listings, a lot of his awesome transactions and closings, and congratulating other agents after closing, stuff like that. And I identified him as a true leader in real estate, and I wanted to get to know him. And so what did I do? I started building a relationship through Facebook. Just start the conversation, start some dialogue. Hey Matthew, I see that you're a rock star agent in Raleigh, North Carolina with Coldwell Banker. Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Pat Hayes in San Antonio with eXp. Love to connect with agents across the country for sending referrals. Would love to get to know you. I'm always looking to expand my network of top agents across the country. Just whatever it is, just start building relationships. Just start some dialogue, building that rapport. And we went back and forth for several weeks before I even asked him about eXp. And so I want to build that relationship with these agents, just like what Scott said. I don't want to just, cold call them or send them a mass text or mass Facebook message or anything like that. Build that relationship, build that dialogue so they'll kind of start to trust you. A lot of agents say, well, it's kind of hard to build a relationship through social media. No, it is not. Guys, social media is taking over. Agents don't even like to pick up the phone anymore. What do? They text. That's what it is. You can build a awesome relationship through social media. And so after a few weeks of dialogue, that's whenever I asked him, hey Matthew, I'm with eXp. I see that you're with Coldwell Banker. Coldwell Banker's a great real estate brokerage firm, but I'm dying to know, have you by chance heard of eXp Realty yet? Ask him that question. They will most likely say no. Probably now they might say yes since the buzz is out there. But back then, 2 years ago, every time I asked that question, they all said no. And I said, awesome. You know what? It's a great company. It's changing my life. It's changing the real estate industry. If I can send you a link to a short video, would you mind watching it and giving me your feedback? I'm looking to get feedback from top agents across the country like yourself, and I would love your honest feedback. That is it, guys. Do not throw up on them. Do not try and explain our model over text message or Facebook message. Do not. Less is more. And I learned that the hard way. Whenever I first got started, I'm excited, guys. I'm all over, social media. I'm talking to agents. I want to, tell them about everything. We got revenue share. We got stock. We got, lead generation. We've got the cloud office. I was just throwing up on them. Do not do that. Just keep it short and simple. Less is more. Send them over that video and then just say, hey, you know what? I'll follow up with you tomorrow. Or, hey, get back to me after you watch it. I'm sure you're going to have some questions. Then I would like to get you on a 3-way phone call with my upline, Scott Lewis in San Antonio, for a testimonial and to answer your questions. Just if you do that, guys, trust me, you will have major success. And again, you can always work with the agents that you're closing deals with. Whenever I do lunch and learns, that's one of my biggest talking points is start with the low-hanging fruit agents that you're doing transactions with in your local market after you close a transaction. If you think that they would be a good fit to eXp and you think that you would like to work with them, then hey, by chance, say, hey, I'd like to take you out for coffee. I'd like to take you to lunch, take you to a lunch and learn. I'd like to take you to dinner and go have a cocktail. I see that you're with Remax. I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you and your business. Find out more about them. It's not about us. It's about them. Get to know them before you even talk about eXp. Don't just throw up on them about eXp. Get to know them. Build rapport. Build that trust with them, because you know what? They're going to want to trust you whenever you become their sponsor, whenever you sponsor them. And so build that trust, build that rapport with them. And so also, this is a big deal too. Whenever you start talking to a lot of these agents, obviously follow-up is going to be key. Follow-up. You know, of course, we want to expose, but also follow-up is huge. You know, just like buyers and sellers, you know, if we have, you know, 100 buyers in the pipeline and 100 sellers in the pipeline, you know, things kind of fall through the cracks. You got to have a system in place. And I want you guys to write this down. I use the app called Reach, R-E-A-C-H, Reach, R-E-A-C-H. And how do I use that? What I do is I've got two groups. I've got a group of about 85 of my agents in my RevShore organization. A lot of you guys are on this call, are in that group. Those are my agents that I send out, you know, communication to about, you know, milestones in the company. You know, hey, we just uploaded to NASDAQ. Hey, we just hit 10,000 agents, or whatever it is. I use that app to communicate because I cannot send out, you know, 85 text messages one at a time. You know, time is money. We've got to have some systems in place. And so I can literally send out a notification to 85 of my top agents within about 1 minute. Okay. And I also use that for the agents that are not a part of eXp yet, that I'm dripping on them. So I've got kind of my top 50 list. Okay. In that Reach app, you can have several different groups. And one of my groups is my top 50 that I'm working, that I've either watched the video, come to a lunch, I've met with, somehow I've exposed them somehow, but they just have not signed up yet, okay? And so I drip on them at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, in regards to just whatever. You know, hey, again, we just uplisted to NASDAQ. You know, hey, you know, today's revenue share payday. You know, I don't tell my numbers, but hey, we're excited over here at eXp. Or hey, you know, we just brought on this awesome agent, you know, a brokerage firm of, you know, 50 agents, or, you know, whatever it is, and just drip on them. And I can literally send that out to that group within about 30 seconds to a minute or so. Okay. And then whenever they start dialoguing back and forth, it's one-on-one. It's not a group text. It's not a mass text. It's anything like that. And so whenever they start responding, then I just start opening up that dialogue and that communication with them back and forth. And so I actually did that. I was actually in Calgary with Ian Flannigan, one of my personals, this week, doing some lunch and learns and meeting with some agents up there. And I actually showed them how I did that. And I actually did that while we were sitting there at dinner. And one of my agents that I've been working with for a year, one whole entire year, and he has just blown me off. He literally replied back and said, Pat, send me the latest eXp video. I want to watch it again. There you go. That's it. That's how you do it, guys. Follow up. You've got to have systems in place. That Reach app is absolutely amazing. I use it every week, 2 or 3 times a week. I think it's like $4.99 a month. It's so worth it, guys. So worth it. You got to invest in yourself, invest in your business to be successful. And I wish you guys the best of luck. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. Let me know. But let's keep on growing and having fun.
Awesome. Well, that's some good stuff, Pat, and I learned something myself. So great share. All right. So next up, Ian, are you there?
I'm here, Scott. Can you hear me?
I can. So Ian Flannigan, and I'm going to brag on you a little bit here, Ian. I know Ian's been with us for, about 2 years now? Is that a year and a half, 2 years, something like that?
February 2016.
And I love the fact that Ian, you know, I will tell you this, that of all the people on my team, you know, close to 2,000 people, the person that I have seen grow more than any person on my team is Ian Flannigan. This guy has, and he was very, very successful as an investor, still is, but he had his own ideas in the beginning. I hope it's okay for me to tell everyone this.
Say it all, buddy. That's why we're here.
He had his own ideas of how to grow eXp in the beginning. And I think he'll be first to tell you, he wanted to do it his way, right? And his way was going to be better than everyone else's. And we all feel that way sometimes. And, you know, he wanted to recreate the wheel and go out and, you know, his way was going to be the best way. And after a while, I think he just looked around and said, you know what, my team's not growing. Everybody else is growing and mine is not. And he came back to the table really after sort of disappearing for a while. And he came to the table with a different mindset. And I applaud you for that in a massive way, because most of us are not willing to do that and to make the interchange that is required to really, to be successful in that way. And so he did that. He came back to the table. He said, look, I want to learn again. I want to start fresh, and I want to know what you guys are doing. I want to duplicate. And not only is he done that, but man, has his team exploded. And I think he probably has an advantage over all of us now because he tried it the wrong way for so long. So he can see that within his team, and he's coaching people on how not to do it and how to do it. And he's found his sweet spot. His team is absolutely growing, one of the fastest now in the country. And I'm excited to introduce my good friend, Ian Flannigan.
Well, thanks, Scott. I'm just glad to see so many people on this call. This is incredible. And not only that, so many people on, obviously everybody's under you, but a lot of the people on my team, and that's the power of duplication. So yeah, when I came into eXp, I was really busy just like everybody else, running an investing company, running a coaching company, traveling all around the place. And, I tried to do marketing approaches with my other businesses that, were working very well, building sales funnels and, lead capture pages and attraction videos and all this other stuff. So I was already in that mindset of doing that type of marketing. And I had never recruited, attracted, real estate agents to a brokerage. So I went at it all the wrong way, kind of not knowing what I didn't know. So I did everything all wrong in the beginning. I think I only got 3 personals in my first 6 months. I mean, it was so new. I was one of the first of, I believe, 20 agents in Dallas, Fort Worth. And you guys know DFW is a massive, massive market. And I basically kind of embarrassed myself. I kind of retracted. And for that first year that I was in eXp, I gave it the good college try, did it all wrong, embarrassed myself, and kind of retracted from it. And Scott and Pat and Rob and Gene, those guys never let their foot off the gas, right? They just kept going. And then I kind of resurfaced. I guess it was probably, I don't remember when, sometime midsummer last year. And I just really felt this pit in my stomach, that burn, just that, I felt like I lost something, but I knew that it was still there. So I started seeking out training. I seeked out some coaching. I seeked out some strategic influence type of coaching. And I really kind of set my ego aside and in my mind realized that if I wanted to create this income and lifestyle, going forward, then I really needed to connect to my why. And then I really needed to have a plan going forward that was systematic and duplicatable. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I believe this is very important. But eXp actually does a training in the cloud on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock, and they go through what's called the needs analysis. So if you're on Workplace and you see Vicky Bartholomew talk about needs analysis, well, there's a specific way that eXp trains people, or coaches them and shows you a way to build relationships first. So that's the topic of my session is attraction marketing through relationships. So a great tool that's really helped my mind is this book right here, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the takeaways in this book are they go directly with what we're trying to do. Build rapport, build relationships. Add value. So piggybacking on what Bob started with, asking those questions. So the needs analysis is an acronym for NEADS. And the N is basically what is happening now in your business. And if you're not enthusiastic about your approach when you talk to people, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult because think about that, when you meet someone face to face and you're not enthusiastic and you're not asking questions, it's like, why would they spend time talking to you if they don't know you? Because everybody is looking for something when they go to events. And that's something that I started doing is to kind of break the ice is like, hey, what niche of real estate are you in? What are you looking for? Why are you here? And most people won't ask those questions. And then I just say, I take it away from them and say, hey, well, just to let you know, I'm a cash buyer. I'm looking for more houses to buy. In addition to that, I'm looking for open-minded real estate agents that want to grow their business. Hey, do you know anybody? And even if they are a real estate agent, I'll just ask them, hey, do you know any real estate agents that are open to growing their business? And then depending on where the conversation goes from there, I'll let it go, wherever it goes. But the whole point is the needs analysis is a way that whenever you approach somebody or whenever you talk to somebody, you already have a strategic plan in place in your mind by asking certain questions that will elicit a need, want, or desire. Because if you don't ask the right questions that pique their curiosity, that elicit a need, want, or desire to, one, grow their business, number two, change their life, because these agents don't know what they don't know. They have no idea the power of eXp Realty. And if you don't put yourself in a position to ask questions that elicit need, want, or desire, then you're not going to be able to connect with those folks. So N is the first one. Be energetic, be authentic. Ask them what's happening now in their business. What's going on now in their life? E is the next one. What do they enjoy? What are their passions? One of the ladies that I was talking to that I met at a continuing education class with my real estate license, I connected with her. She was such a great person. And I started to get to know her, and it's been a year and a half, and I've even had my sponsor call her. But every time I call her, obviously I haven't sponsored her yet, but every time I call her, I say, Shawnee, thank you so much for taking my call. And she just kind of giggles, and she's like, Ian, you're a really nice guy, so yeah, what's going on? And then, after the third time, once she kind of cut me off of, trying to introduce eXp to her, I really started digging more down into what she's doing, what's going on in her life. And I had learned that she has a special needs child. So the things that she's doing in her life, back to the E, what do you enjoy in your life? So she's really passionate about, her child and then everything else that she's involved in. So that was something that I really connected to her on. And, not that I said, hey, well, eXp can change your life. But my point is I'm moving through the needs analysis with her. I'm building that bond with her. And who knows? I mean, I may not ever sponsor her, or, she may come on and be a rock star. She speaks like 4 different languages. She has an incredible energy about her. But I found out through the needs analysis what her passions are and what are the things that she is really focused on. So that's the E. What does she enjoy? And you can toggle it back between your business and, your life. And then A, what would you alter about your business? What are the things that would, what would you change about your business? What's missing in your business? I realized that I had a very, very valuable skill set to offer real estate agents. So whenever I start asking them questions about, hey, are you building a cash flow portfolio? Do you invest in real estate? Those are things that I can talk about all day long until I'm blue in the face. But I have to strategically ask those questions that elicit a need, want, or desire, a need for them to want to build cash flow through real estate, because I know that eXp is going to be a solution. But if I can build that rapport with them, pique their curiosity, then I'm going to let the presentation do the work. So that's the A part. And then D, how do you make decisions? How do you do due diligence in incorporating new systems or anything into your business? So I'm methodically going through the needs analysis, and I'm asking those probing questions. And I'm probing them about their business and their life. But it's very systematic. Through that conversation, I may not get through the needs analysis the first time I meet them or the second time I meet them. But in my mind, I'm working through the needs analysis. And then S is always setting up the next step or the next appointment or the next time you're going to communicate or a video to watch to follow up with, so on and so forth. So, and then those are the things that I had to go through in my mind to realize that there is a system to doing this business. And once I kind of really realized, hey, I have to set my interests aside, build that relationship, build that rapport, and then throughout that process, probe them with these questions. And I always have that needs analysis in my mind. And I don't know if you guys follow Grant Cardone, but he's got a book. There's 2 books that I would suggest. The 10X Rule. If you guys haven't gone through the 10X Rule, you're doing yourself a disservice. Get it today. Get it on audio. Put it in your mind. It's going to really put in perspective of what you need to do to create the life that you want and through your business and all that. But have those questions. He has another book, The Closer Survival Guide. And it's basically all these questions that we're talking about, that Bob was talking about, that Pat was talking about, these are questions that are pre-rehearsed and ready to go in an instant. So I have about a dozen different questions that I have memorized, that I've rehearsed while I'm in the shower. My wife was looking at me and she's like, "Are you talking to yourself?" I was like, "No, baby, I'm practicing my scripts." Like, I am mentally practicing the dialogue that I'm going to do whenever I meet people. So my time's up. I hope that helps. The needs analysis, eXp trains it at Wednesday at 11 o'clock. It's very powerful. So that'll help you with your mindset whenever you do come across other people. And just know it's a process. And if you're not asking questions, it's not going to happen. So you got to be able to ask those questions. Let let the videos do the explaining of the business model. And then, just like Pat said, follow up. So I have 6 personals on my board, and there's my wealth chart right there, guys. I have 6 personals on my board right now that are 2 of them are in the queue, and I have 3 more. I've had dinner with a couple of them. So it's a process. I mean, I went from 4 personals to 12 personals in about 8 months. So I've just started to get that momentum, and man, I'm just very grateful to be here. My team's growing, and Scott, thank you for asking me to share, because yeah, it was a battle more in my mind than anything.
That's awesome, Ian, and thanks for being so honest about that. And you know, I don't think there's any question in anyone's mind on this training now why you're succeeding. You've become very strategic in your approach, right? And so we have to be strategic. You have a target now, and you know what your target is. You're focused on it. You've established your own needs, wants, and desires.
Exactly.
And you know you have the perfect vehicle to get there. And so now you're just sharing that vehicle with others and showing them how they can get their needs, wants, and desires. And once someone really understands that they can have their needs or their wants or desires fulfilled through eXp, they'll beat your door down. You don't have to recruit them. You don't have to attract them. All you have to do is send them to join at. And so, you know, if you're not getting to that place, then and you always feel like you're pushing people or trying to talk people into it, that's what gives eXp a bad name, and that's why you're repelling people instead of attracting them. And you've mastered the art of that. So congratulations. And there's no secret why you're killing it. And there's no secret in my mind. 2 years from now, you'll be one of the top 20 income earners at eXp because you've mastered the art. So again, congratulations. We are 4 minutes behind. So we're going to step on the gas here. I'm going to introduce Mr. Kyle Handy. Kyle here in San Antonio. Kyle, I really come to appreciate your methodical approach to building the business. Obviously, your team is exploding as well, and I think a lot of it is because you really like Ian. You track everything, and you use a CRM to manage that. And so for those of you that are really wanting to create some better systems for attraction, just like you do for your real estate business, we're going to let Kyle share with you how he does that. So good morning, Kyle Handy. Welcome to the call.
Hey, good morning, Scott. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for putting this on. This is a great, man, it's so much good stuff I've already got out of it from Pat and from Bob and from Ian, man, and from yourself, Scott. Really appreciate it. Real quick, can I share my screen? Let me see if this will work here. I think that'll be real helpful for people here. Can y'all see that?
We can.
Okay. Perfect. All right, perfect. So real quick, I'll just try and stick to the schedule here, but I'll tell you real quickly who I am. I've been a realtor for 5 years. I've been with eXp Realty for 11 months. I'm a team leader. I've got 8 agents that work on my team here in San Antonio, Texas. I generate over 500 buyer and seller leads per month, and to be able to distribute out to those agents. Total database right now is 8,700 leads in my buyer-seller database. And again, I wouldn't be able to do any of this without having, some organized lists, some CRM, some way to keep this going. And, as far as the eXp side of things, I've put on 15 personals into my revenue share organization in the last 4 months using these strategies. So 9 different states. So I wouldn't be able to keep up with all the people that I'm having conversations with without this kind of organization. And so that's where I really think if anybody wants to scale their business, and instead of just putting one agent on every, couple months or few months, if you're really trying to make a business out of this, you got to be organized. So why you should keep a database? It's the glue that holds everything together that you do with eXp. So all these strategies that people are talking about, how to increase your sphere of influence realtors, and how to go online and go capitalize on people out there that are online, that's all great. But what the database does, it's the glue that holds it all together. It makes sure that you don't forget the people that you're speaking with or where you left off. Okay, so that's the important thing. I always got so many people that they don't know how many people they're talking to or how many people that they have the potential to reach. Well, when you keep a database and you know an exact amount, I can tell you that right now in my database, I have 1,456 people that I can potentially go out and reach. So I know I'm not, married to one particular agent. They don't hold my destiny. So also at the same point, if you get, these bad things that always happen as agents, somebody, says they're going to join and then they don't, I just move on to the next one. I got 1,400 other people I can go try and talk to, right? So that's kind of helpful for me why I keep a database. The more organized you are, the more conversations that you can have. So, again, the only way you can scale this business is if you have a database and stay organized and know where you left off with people. It makes using every other system that much easier. So Pat mentioned a tool. I use it as well. It's called Reach. I wouldn't be able to, go in and easily input all my people in Reach if I didn't have a database to easily do that too in the beginning. It makes so much it makes everything that much easier. Also, phone contacts, I can make lists in my phones, out of Excel spreadsheets because I've already got it all. The data's already there. It makes it that much easier. Create scorekeeping and accountability for yourself. You'll never know how much you're growing if you don't know how many people you're adding into your database every single day. So my goal is 10 leads that I'm adding into my database per week. I'm not going to put 15 personals on in 4 months if I'm not, adding anybody to my database. So that's 40 agents that I'm adding into my database each and every month. All right, some best practices. This is a separate database than the database you're going to use for your buyer and seller leads. You have to keep it separate. Don't think that you're going to use the same system. You got to update it daily. If you come back to it every week or it's just something you do when you have extra time, that's not enough. I'm in my database, not only just daily, but like 4, 5, 6 times a day. I mean, I'm going back and forth, always looking in it, updating it, adding information, all that good stuff. This is in addition to your wealth chart. I keep a wealth chart too. That's for my goals, my visions. It's, really to show like what I've put, as far as personals and what those personals have done. But all of my leads, I wouldn't be able to put 1,456 leads on my wealth chart. Just wouldn't happen. Use this for your downline. Have a database for your downline. If we want to duplicate, you got to have another database for your downline. You got to know what you're doing with them, know what the last time you talked to them was. Are they, and also when you want to send out, Scott and Tracy can tell you this, but when you want to send out invitations to trainings, it makes it that much easier when you have everything organized for your downline as well. So use all of the same stuff for your downline. What you can use, the different CRM systems. So if you want to stay free, Google Sheets and Excel. As eXp agents, we all get the Google Suite. So use Google Sheets, and I'm going to share with you a list that I've built. This is very simple, and I'll share this in the group so everybody can have access to it. If you don't have a CRM or you don't want to spend money on a CRM, use a simple list just like this. This is all the same stuff that I pretty much have my CRM track, but it's just in an Excel spreadsheet format. So the date I added that lead to the database, their first name, their last name, their email, their phone number, where I got that person from, the time that I last contacted them, and what that last contact was about. I have a guide that I send to people. I want to know, have I sent them that guide yet? I've got a webinar video. Right now we use the Brent Go video, the 30-minute one. Have I sent them that webinar video? Did they watch the webinar video? I'll ask them again, hey, did you watch that video? That's a separate category for me. Have I taken them to a lunch and learn, or have I done a 3-way phone call with my sponsor? Have I taken them into the eXp world and done a tour with them to show them the systems and the training and everything that's involved? And then did I send them my sign up link so that they could join eXp? So these are all milestones that I track. And the great thing about a spreadsheet, maybe your milestones are different. You can edit this, make this your own. And then of course I've got notes about that agent, right? Like where are they at? How long have they been in business? Are they a team? Are they a single agent? What's their hot buttons? What are their needs? Like what did Ian, talked about? So, that's what you're going to want to put in this database. This is completely free. You just add to this. So what Google Sheets is good for is organization. All right. If you want to take it a step further, you can go into MailChimp. MailChimp is still free up to 2,000 contacts. So for most every single one of us, that's going to be free for a while. The good thing about MailChimp is it's good for organization. You can actually recreate this entire list in MailChimp where you can create categories and columns and all that kind of stuff. But the nice thing about MailChimp is you can straight send out emails from it. So, if you want to track what emails you're sending or anything like that, you can send them straight from that system. Whereas in Google Sheets, again, it's just organization. You're going to have to copy paste that email address or whatever when you want to send any communication out. When you're ready to step it up, you want to start spending some money into this business. I use Follow Up Boss as my CRM system. It's different than Conversion, which we use as agents for buyers and sellers. But what I do there, that's good for email, text. It reports, what I've done, how many contacts I've made, how many leads I've added to my database. Automation, when I make those contacts, it stores those communications in the database. So I don't have to manually log in, what the last contact was and what it was about. This has features to where it will record my phone calls. It'll store them in there. It obviously, if I text straight out of the system, it's going to record that text conversation. Again, this one's a little more expensive though. This is you're stepping up the cost. It's $149 a month. That gives you 3 users, which maybe you got a buddy or you got 2 buddies you want to go into this with. You pay $50 a month each. You set up an account. You get 3 users. You're going to want to trust those people because they will be able to see different all the leads that are in there, but you will be able to segment them by each user. It's just each user will be able to see them. So it's somebody you're going to trust. They're not going to try and steal your leads or nothing like that. Free 14-day trial on that as well. So if you wanted to try that out, you can go to followupboss.com and try that out. Who to start with? Ian and Pat, they've already kind of covered a lot of this, but I'll just real quickly, if you're starting your list building, and then this will be my last thing. Past transactions, of course, realtors that you've done a transaction with in the past, your friends in real estate, go through your Facebook friends list, see who's already in there that you remember that is a real estate agent. And then, I put past transactions. That's supposed to be your phone list, phone contact list. Contact list. And then how do you add more? I've got a little echo here. Let's see. How do you add more? So Facebook groups. Yeah, I think Scott, it's coming from you. There we go. So Facebook groups, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then if you want to do more of like a live stuff, of course, realtor events and trainings. That's where you're going to be adding these leads to your database. And a goal, like I say, you might have 3 leads a week or 1 lead a week, whatever it is, but set a goal. Mine's 10, and I go through these different strategies to add that. I've got a different topic on a $1.80 strategy. Maybe we'll cover it in another video. I know my time is short. If anybody wants to connect with me, if you got more questions, I'm on Facebook. Connect with me on Instagram. You can search my name on YouTube. I've got some videos on there. That's my email address. If you want to send me an email, I'm happy to help out. I love this company. I love the agents. I really want to help you guys. Anything that I can do. Of course, you can also go to my website, kylehandy.com, and you'll see all the information on there as well. Plus, I'll be starting to put up a lot more training guides and things like that on there. So anyways, my time is up. Oh, you're muted, Scott.
Great job, Kyle.
Great job. Can you unshare your screen now, buddy?
Yep. There you go.
Awesome. So how many of you want to spend an hour or 2 in a training with Kyle Handy? Yeah, absolutely right. He's got the system down. So, you guys, we're trying to give you as much value as possible in a limited amount of time. We're squeezing a lot of stuff in here, but that was awesome. So, all right, up next, hey, we're doing pretty good here. We're only 6 minutes behind schedule. So I'm going to bring up Jonathan Dupree. For those of you that don't know Jonathan, Jonathan has been in the business a long time. He has been coaching agents for many, many years, a speaker at Inman. He has the fourth largest real estate company in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that he just rolled in to eXp. He's been with us now for about a month and starting to really get comfortable with everything. He's going to be a massive attractor to the company. Look out for this guy's name. He will be climbing up the ladder of attraction into the top 10, I believe, in the company very quickly. He has influence all over the country. And he does trainings online all the time, so you're going to want to plug into what he does. But most importantly, I think he's just going to be a monster icon for eXp, and he loves real estate. And so I asked Jonathan to share with you this morning how to talk to and attract broker owners from other companies to eXp. So welcome this morning, Jonathan, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Scott. And I will get us back on track time-wise, because I'm not even going to need a full 10 minutes to share with you just 3 simple thoughts on attracting broker owners. And you can even take that a step further and go attracting mega agent teams, because they operate like brokerages. They operate like they have their own brokerage within a brokerage and use these same principles. But a lot of you guys have said many of the same things that I would say, so I don't have to repeat them. It's really weird. I wrote this quote down, and it said, "It's weird that the greatest moments of clarity occur during moments of such confusion and stress." And the last 4 weeks for me have been confusion and stress, and it's been good confusion and stress, if that makes sense. And to back into this conversation, Scott, you sent me a LinkedIn message probably about a year ago. And a year ago, I had this vision that I was building this company, and on the outside, it appeared to be very successful. We went from 0 to 120 agents in less than 3 years. We were 4th in market share and closed business out of about 800 companies. Yet we were struggling to really be profitable. But in my mind, I held on so tightly to this commitment that we were going to be number 1 in market share. I was reading a Riz Media magazine the other day, and it's talking about an agent in Dallas, an article about how they're going to be number 1 in market share in the next 3 years. That's their goal. And I could connect so much with the owner of that company, because that was me. And I responded to Scott's message fairly aggressively. Why would you even, you don't know anything about my company, and we're this, yada, 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 yada. And then I had one of my partners sat down with me 6 weeks ago, and he said, "I'm very sick, and we need to find a different pathway, because I don't want to leave you strapped in the struggle that we have right now." And I began looking. If you had told me 6 weeks ago I'd be at eXp, if you had told me 6 weeks ago I'd be leading a call with you guys or sharing just a little bit on how to attract brokers, I would tell you guys you're crazy. It's not, that I was that person that Bob was creating scripts for. And so when I reached out to, we had that conversation, I began reaching out to as many people as possible, company-wise, and just looking for every avenue for it, every option. And I went through LinkedIn, and I saw that message again from Scott, and I sent him one more message back, and it just said, "How's that revenue share, buddy?" That literally was the message. And the next day, they called, and they shared with me, and I said, I want to talk. I need to have some discussions. And then over the next 3 days, Scott and I talked every single day, and I knew right away it was in that weird moment of confusion and stress that I had gained the most clarity I've had in the real estate world for a long time, where I just saw it. And Scott shared something, and he said, when you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's where I hit that point where I saw it, and I said, I can't offer my agents a better opportunity on my own than eXp can, and I can't offer my family a better opportunity than eXp could. The thing that you have to think when you're talking about attracting is a lot of times we get into the process, think like a real estate agent for a second. If you're coaching a real estate agent and they're going to meet with a for sale by owner and they say, well, I went in and I did the presentation and they didn't list with me. Well, why? Because it's a process, right? We know on the real estate side, it takes on average 8 weeks for sale by owner to list with a real estate agent. And we also know that 86% of those for sale by owners eventually list with a real estate agent. But if you just think it's an event instead of a process, and you go in one time and you don't get the listing and you quit and you go, that doesn't work, the reality was you didn't work. In attracting agents, especially when you get to big mega agent teams or brokerages, you've got to understand there's a process involved. There's a lot of moving parts, and you have to buy into the process and be willing to commit to the process, and that is getting into and staying in dialogue with these individuals. And then when you get into dialogue with them, a broker owner, I'm talking right now with 3 independent brokerages where it can't be the information don't be heard about. It can't be these are all the reasons why you should make a move, because they're going to tell you all the reasons why they should stay where they are, and it's their own thing, and how that's not going to help them. Revenue sharing going to help me. I already participate in revenue sharing. All my agents, they're going to come up with all of that. It's not an information dump. What you have to do is get in dialogue with someone, build a relationship with them. And the 3 things that I really want to share that you take away from it is, the first is find their why. And you do that by asking great questions. You heard multiple people today tell you ask great questions. And the reason they said that is because they're all great attractors, and they understand that if you want to attract somebody, you have to ask great questions to find out what's inside someone's head, like what drives them, what motivates them, what pushes them, what excites them. And so you've got to find their why. Why is it that I was so committed to having my own brokerage that a year ago I wasn't open to eXp? But it's really diving into that broker owner's mind and finding out what truly drives them. Then the second thing is you have to find out their pain. Because I'm telling you, we were 4th in market share, had 120 agents, ran our company like a machine, yet there was some pain there. And it was trying to figure out, how do we make money doing this? How do we stay profitable doing this? How do we keep our head above water doing this? And so you've got to find the pain. And Scott did a great job of that with me. Now I did a great job too, because I just unloaded and said, this is where we are. And I need to find a solution, and I need to find a solution quickly for our agents. And I want to give them a better opportunity than I can give on their own. So find the pain. Again, how do you find the pain? You ask great questions. I have a journal back here in my bookcase. It's full of nothing but questions that I've written down over the years when I meet with people. And you'll discover people will walk away from a meeting with you. You don't ever have to mention eXp. You don't ever have to talk about revenue share or equity, or if you just begin to ask really great questions, they'll connect the dots on that they need to be with you. And if they're in your world, they will be in a better place by being in your world. When you ask those great questions, you have to be, especially when you're trying to find the pain, like what are the challenges and obstacles? And when you ask those questions, what ends up happening is they're pouring out to you and they're telling you so that you can begin to provide the solutions, which is the third thing, is be the solution. However, this is I would say the most important part. I always operate from a needs-based analysis, meaning I'm asking questions to someone, trying to find out what they need, what their gaps are, what their challenges are, their struggles, their frustrations, what their goals are, who's helping them implement those goals. And as I'm doing that and asking those questions, if I'm not listening while they're talking, like a lot of times we'll ask a question and we're so focused on the question that we miss what they're saying, because while they're talking, we're thinking of what to say next. And if you're thinking what to say next while they're talking, you're going to miss the opportunity to find the pain and then be the solution to them. And the last thing I'd say is when you're talking to these bigger teams or brokers, independent brokerages, buy into the process from the standpoint of, if it takes me a year or 2 years or 3 years for one of these big brokerages to fold in, or a top talent to fold in? Is it worth it? Yeah. I've always operated from that standpoint. You know, I recruited a great agent. It took 2 years to get this agent. They were on their leadership council for their company. Phenomenal agent. When that agent made the transition, they brought 15 agents with them to our firm. Was it worth that 2 years of staying in dialogue and communicating with them and talking to them and loving them? Absolutely. That's the process I'm talking about. It's not a 1 or 2 conversations and done. So that's it.
Awesome, Jonathan. So the thing that I'm hearing over and over and over again, and guys, these are some of the best attractors in the company, is ask great questions and listen. And most of us talk way too much. We want to sell the benefits, you know, because we're so excited, right? And we think, why can't they just get it? I get it. I'm excited. Why don't they get it? Well, they don't know what they don't know. And until you establish that you maybe have an answer for their want, need, or desire, they're probably not going to listen to you anyway, right? When you become a great listener and ask great questions, and you start to build rapport with the people that you work with or the people that you meet. You know, I think Jonathan and I, we haven't known each other very long, yet I feel like I've known him forever now. I know his family. They're great people. We have great rapport. We're going to have fun all over the world together.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh my God, how did this happen so quickly? But when minds come together that are aligned, and when you want the same things and you're attracting the same things and you have the same values, you're going to attract the right people. And I think it starts here. And what you said is so powerful, Jonathan. You know, just become a great listener. And if nothing else, that will attract people to you like nothing else. So, well, thanks again for that. So next up is my good buddy right here in San Antonio, Texas. I would tell you that, and we haven't got into this because I'm saving this for the end, and I know Tom Truong is going to cover some of this, and we're going to talk about this together. But the pixie dust for eXp, you want to know the secret sauce for building a huge organization. You really want to know the secret. You want to know how to get it done. I will tell you that this gentleman right here has the secret sauce like nobody I know, and he's been more consistent and more diligent to that. He's I admire this guy. He's raising 2 boys. He sells a ton of real estate. Yet every single week he has carved out the time necessary to really to really implement what I believe is the most important ingredient for growing as a person at eXp and growing your rev share. And some of you are sitting there and you've been with us for a year, maybe a year and a half, and you're not doing this, and you wonder why you're not growing. This is the reason. And you can ignore me if you want, and you can just say, it's just another thing he's trying to promote. But I have seen it with my own eyes. I've experienced it over and over again. And so, Alphonso, give them the secret sauce for building eXp.
Hey guys, can you hear me? All right. Well, so me, when I started eXp 28 months ago, I had nobody even recruited me. So me and Pat Hayes had a friend in common. He says, you need to come check out the future of real estate. This is going to change your life. This is the future. I ended up going to a lunch and learn. I didn't know what I was coming to. Within 30 minutes, I knew I was coming to eXp. I made a decision right on the spot, and I came over. First about 5 months, I was excited about the tools, everything that eXp had to offer. Then the light went off, and I started, I noticed that Scott would have a lunch and learn every Wednesday, and then we had it on Thursdays, and now it's on Fridays. And I decided that that's going to be part of my business plan. Every time I go to network a lot, I go to events. I really don't tell a lot of people about eXp. I'm always wearing my eXp gear. It speaks for itself. You go, you do transactions, and all I did is I started just bringing people to the lunch and learns every Friday. I'll bring one person. My goal was to bring one person, 2 people, 3 people, and then your team will see that every Friday, or wherever the lunch and learn's at, it duplicates. Now every time I go to a lunch and learn, I take one person, and I have 5 of my team members bringing one person. So that just duplicates everything. I mean, there's, I have 23 personals, 125 in my team, and it's growing at 20 agents a month. I'm really excited, and I just do it. I sell a lot of real estate. Everybody's busy. We're all busy. You just have to do it. Your wealth chart, networking. I mean, everything that these guys said right here, that's what it's all about. I mean, and every time I go to those lunch and learns, even if somebody cancels on me, I get re-excited. I get reinvigorated. I mean, I want to sign up every time I go to a lunch and learn. I get excited. I want to sign up with eXp. So there's no secret sauce. Just bring somebody, and if nobody comes, still just go by yourself, because you're gonna say, all right, next Friday I'm gonna have somebody here. I'm gonna have 1 or 2 people, and just do it, and just do it. You're gonna get a lot of no's, but it's worth it. It's worth it. To me, it's worth it. And the rev share, the everything else. I mean, you're changing realtors' lives 1 agent at a time. That's the way I see it. So. That's all I can say. I don't went on, but I'm glad I'm a part of this, and really excited.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Alfonso, and congratulations on your huge growth. And I know you just got your biggest revenue share check ever. And
oh, yeah.
That's exciting in itself. So, again, congratulations on everything you're doing at eXp. I want to talk a little bit more about the lunch and learns, and then I'm going to turn this thing over to Tom Truong. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I don't know. I really don't know how to say this without just being really blunt. But the lunch and learns. You have leaders that are doing those in your market. Some of you don't. We've got the answer for you on this call if you don't have that. But if there's a lunch and learn going in your market within 100 miles of you, and you're not supporting that, and you're not showing up for that every single week, or at least 3 weeks of the month, you're not serious about building your revenue share. And until you get serious about it, it's not going to happen. See, there's a reason why we do them. We do them because it's the culture. If you continue to go every single week, and I can't tell you how many people that they go every week and yet they're not growing, and then all of a sudden something clicks and they hear something in one of those meetings and a light bulb goes off and all of a sudden they get it, and all of a sudden they begin to start growing. The other thing is the meeting needs you just as much as you need the meeting, right? If you're one of those that you show up at a lunch and learn, you invite a guest and they don't show up and you storm out and leave, please don't come back to the lunch and learns again. That's not the culture we want. That's not how we're building our business, right? We're there to support each other. This is agent attraction for our company as shareholders together, right? And so you're there to help everyone so that when you do have a guest show up, everyone else is helping you. And if you're not doing that, you're not serious about building this company, you're not serious about building eXp, and you're not serious about your financial future. And I would dig even deeper, and I would say you haven't figured out a want, need, or desire that's driving you. And you're letting the status quo or being comfortable right where you're at today drive your emotions and drive your life. And until you get something that you want so damn bad that you'll do whatever it takes to go get it, this is not going to happen for you. But when that hot button hits you, and when you want it so freaking bad, you can smell it and you can taste it, and you can't get up in the morning without thinking about it. and you can't go to bed, and you become so infatuated with that dream or that goal or that desire, you'll be there every week. They won't keep you from being there. All right? You'll pick up the phone and you won't even think about it because you're so dadgum excited. And there's nothing out there that can give you what this company can give you. Nothing. If you've got a better opportunity, or if there's something out there that can drive you to success that's better than this, I want to know about it. Pick up the phone when we're done and call me, because I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. Show me where you make $200,000 a month in residual income in 2 years. Are you kidding me? The uber wealthy don't do that. Residual income, guys. There's nothing more powerful. Mark Cuban said there's only one kind of income, and that's residual income. Selling houses is awesome. That's how we get what we get. Transactional income will drive you to drink, though, because it never, ever ends. Yes, we have to do it, but you have to find and want, need, or desire. So your goal today is don't go to bed without putting a wealth chart on the wall and figure out what is going to drive you so that you show up at the lunch and learn every single week with a smile on. And I'm talking to every single person on this call. There's 80 of you, and all 80 of you are here on a Saturday morning, and you're giving up time with your family. Some of you are not going to a lunch and learn, or you're not doing a lunch and learn. And I know it sounds like I'm preaching. And honestly, I have 2,000 people in my organization. It's going to grow whether I ever do anything again or not. But I want every one of you to win. And I know what it takes with this company to win. And it takes Ian Flannigan said it better than anyone. It takes a want, need, or desire that drives you so hard and you want it so bad. Some of you are comfortable. You're sitting in there in your office, I'm pretty happy. I don't have to worry about this, I don't want that. And you don't have anything that's really driving you. Because you've given up, or you don't think you deserve it, or you don't really think you can get it. And I'm telling you, you can. You can have everything you want in life and more with this opportunity. So,
hey, real quick, Scott, man, I love it. I just want to kind of let everybody know. I had my biggest lunch and learn yesterday I've ever had. Scott counted 59 total in the room there. I mean, we're exploding here in San Antonio. Just the energy in the room there yesterday was just unbelievable. And seriously, guys, if you're not doing a lunch and learn, if you're not attending them, seriously, change that. Start one, go to one. It will explode your business. Trust me.
All right, so here's what we're going to do, and then I'm going to turn it over to Tom Truong. And John Rozak, I know you're there. I need you to put the link up for us. So we have rolled out a program to make this real easy for all of you. And we're calling it the Expansion Network. And our goal is to be in 100 cities nationwide by the end of the year. And the beautiful thing is each one of you on this call are going to be able to benefit from that in a huge way. And so we are going to be simulcasting our Friday lunch and learns, and soon Thursday from Boston, Thursday and Friday lunch and learns every single week to these 100 locations. And so we are looking for hosts. And a host is someone that will identify a location, that eventually will get a sponsor and serve lunch, all right? You'll do a brief introduction, and then you're going to show the simulcast on the wall on a computer where you have to have a monitor, a TV monitor. All right. John's gonna, if you're interested in this, he's gonna go through all the details with you. Your location will be published, so anyone on our team can invite to that location, and you as a host are gonna get to be a part of. All the people that we're training on this call today are going to be coaching, mentoring, and teaching once a week all of our hosts how to talk to people, how to attract people, how to answer questions, how to really be a master of the eXp opportunity. And so if you want to be a master and take advantage of this opportunity, then you need to apply to be a host location. All right, there's an application. I think John just put it up on the board. You can download that form. You'll fill that out, and then there's a process for vetting you to be a host location. Our goal this week, this coming Friday, is to be in 5 locations in the U.S. and again 100 locations nationwide by the end of the year. And so what we're going to do is post that on a Google Doc every single week, and you'll be able to share that with your team. So can you imagine the power, David O'Leary, when you attract an agent to the company and you say, you know what, who do you know in any of these 100 locations? And let's invite them to see the opportunity and meet a professional in their market. We will have the biggest team in the world at eXp by building the systems that we're building and teaching agents to do the right thing and attract the right way. This is for our team, all right? We're going to set this up for you in a way that'll be very systematic. You'll be held accountable to the location. You'll have to do it a minimum of 2 months or 8 weeks. And part of the commitment is if you decide you don't want to do it after that, you're going to assist us in helping find someone else in that market to take it over. All right? So this is a very serious commitment. You got to be committed to it every single week. And if you're interested in doing that, you need to fill out that form that John has put on the screen there. For those of you that want to that have someone that's not on this call and you think they would be a great host for this program, we have a nomination form. John, can you share the nomination form? And we will also share these in an email that's going to go out to everyone. So you'll be able to nominate a host in a city. Then they can fill out the application, get all the details, be part of the mastermind, and so forth. So I could talk about that for an hour, but I've got to get my good buddy on here because I know he's got a ton more to share with you. Tom, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you, Scott?
Awesome, Tom. So I know you've got a lot to share. Tom is the best I've seen in the business at attracting agents. He's killing it. He's brand new with us. Been with us about 5 or 6 months. He's already got a huge team, almost 100 agents on his team, growing all over the country. He's the incoming president for ARIA. So if those of you that are interested in ARIA, he can help you with that later. But Tom, I know you've got some great stuff, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Man, I am so fired up. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Guys, some will, some won't. So what? I'm still fired up. Some will, some won't, so what? When we got a cat recently, we named her Sir Walter III. SW3. Some will, some won't, so what? Keep doing it. All right? You have amazing leaders here. Scott and Tracy Lewis, thank you very much for reaching out to me 6 short months ago. You've changed my life. You've basically touched on my pains and my pleasures when you first reached out to me. And you asked me the toughest questions. I didn't want to be sold, right? But I wanted a good life. I had needs, I had wants, and I was, frankly, I love friends. I wanted to find an opportunity to build a business, to see my friends all across the North America and hopefully the world. This opportunity gave me that chance. I wanted to continue to learn and improve myself. Frankly, I want to be selfish. Selfish because I want to create residual retirement income to achieve personal and financial freedom. What else do you have that will allow that to help you achieve your dreams and goals, guys? The way you attract people is to walk in their shoes and know why they would, and you'll have to figure out why they would want to join your team. How do you make a connection? Right? You got to connect. All of the amazing leaders that talked to us earlier, Pat Hayes, Ian, Kyle, John, Alfonso, we nailed it down, right? We got to be connecting with people. When you first connect, be brief, be precise, and be gone. Hey, you got a quick 2 minutes? 2 minutes, Scott. I've got a quick business opportunity I want to share with you. If they don't have 2 minutes, that's okay. I'll call you tomorrow. When do I have 2 minutes to talk with you? It's a business call. Right? But sometimes if if you don't have a good relationship with people, then you have to start from zero. You got to build rapport, build curiosity, then be prepared to strike when they ask the question, right? Make a friend, right? You got to learn how to make a friend first before you puke on them. Do not puke on people. We call it ex puking. Don't do that, because you're just going to lose them forever. FORD stands for, if you don't know how to make a friend at networking, that's a terminology. Talk about the family, the occupation, their recreation, and what their dreams are. Sometimes I recruit people by being their trusted advisor, by helping them. Social media, if someone's posting a question on a social media Facebook page or LinkedIn or something, be helpful, be advisor. They're going to remember you, because no one wants to, be sold on anything, right? Learn how to listen, and listen hard. All right, Jonathan Dupree talked about that. The better we listen, the better we can figure out what people really need. Your first exposure is everything. Make sure you have a good first impression. When I leave my house, even for this call, I put on a nice dress shirt. Why? I've got 80 people here who might be able to give me a referral if you want to do business with me in Boston, Massachusetts, but it goes beyond that. Every time you walk to the grocery store, you jog down the street, you do whatever you do, you're making a first impression. And first impressions go a long way. You can never take that first impression back if you left a bad one. Learn your elevator pitch and learn it well, right? Have more rebuttals than questions. Just learn it, guys. Learn it, guys. I love to do first exposures face-to-face. That, to me, is nothing better than being one-on-one. Second best is what we're doing right now over the phone, when I can watch you, I can see your beautiful smile, I can see your reaction, I can see whether you're paying attention or not, right? And then the third, to me, is a group meeting, right? Videos are cool. If you're not a salesperson, you don't have the sales training, then send out the videos. Let the system do the work for you. Don't try to explain it, because you're just going to fumble, and you might just kill that chance of getting them to really sit down and listen. Don't forget about TuesdayExecutiveOverview.com. You have amazing leaders all across the country dialing in and helping you recruit and attract agents. Why aren't you guys taking advantage of that? The lunch and learns, absolutely. They're clear across the country. Pretty soon we have 100 of them. We just talked about that. And then use Zoom.us. This is the software that Scott is using right now. We also have Google Hangouts. Take advantage of that. Once you get in touch with them, stay in touch. Once in a while, figure out how to test close them, right? If you haven't learned about test closing questions, ask leading questions to see if they're ready to sign on. All right, be patient, guys. Have a database. Cal Handy does it awesome. He has an entire database, 1,600 people that he's following up on. How are you going to keep track of them all? Be patient. When time is right, people will come on and they will join you. Be unforgettable. Leave an impression and make them feel like they want to be your friend, right? You want to attract, you don't want to detract. And be unforgettable. Share with them information even outside of the real estate world. If your social media is not attractive, you will be forgettable. If you do crazy stuff that makes people smile, makes people cry, makes people remember you, when the time comes, they're going to remember you're the guy, you're the XP gal that they want to talk to. Be firm when the time is right. When you know that this is going to work for them and they are flipping and flopping back and forth, then it's time to go in for the close, right? You got to have a CRM. We talked about that. It's close. See that? If you don't close, what's the 4 letters say? You lose. So either you close or you lose. Learn how to close. Contact them, call them, and then when it happens, celebrate with them. Scott and Tracy do an amazing job celebrating our successes with the Team Disruptors. They, when their success, they celebrate, and you should celebrate. When my agents do something, they hit five personals, I take them out and I celebrate. That is a milestone. When they hit 10, I'm going to do something bigger. When they hit 15 or 20, I'm going to do something massive. Right? These are massive, massive things that people want to feel appreciated for. Make sure you take advantage of your third-party calls, what we call a three-way call. You cannot close it on your own. I continuously leverage Scott. I sometimes call Gene Frederick, and I ask him to jump on a call with me. They know exactly what they're doing. When you call, if they happen to pick up, they are on their game. All the leaders who've talked today, we are on our game. We know exactly what to do. Get us on the phone and zip up and let us do the work for you, right? opportunity. Got to sell them sometimes. Some people want to be sold, okay, because they don't know what they want. Stay excited, guys, and explain to them what happens next. We are onboarding so many people now. There's a backlog of people coming on board. So when you do close them, make sure you explain what happens next. It could take them 5 to 7 business days to get onboarded. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share this, Scott, but I'm going to end with the dream, right? Why are you guys doing this? You know, we talked about wealth chart. If you go up to my walk-in closet, every morning when I get dressed, I am looking at my wealth chart. Scott told me that from day one. What is your goal, right? It's going to take you $1.4 million in an annuity to deliver $36,000 a year or $3,000 a month in residual income. Who can create $1.4 million annuity today in this next 12 months? Do you have a tool that does that? If he does, show it to me and Scott and show it to the leaders. Okay? I've been in the business for 6 months. I've already created that annuity. You guys can do it too. Stay fired up. Here's the long-term goal, the 10 by 10. If you get 10 cappers and help 10 achieve that, you're going to get where you want to go. And what are you willing to give up to get there? Think about that. Pause for a moment. What are you going to give up to get there? We all have 24 hours in a day. Got to give up something or be more disciplined about others to get what you want. And when are you going to get it done? Have a goal for yourself. Beat yourself up. Have an accountability partner to beat you up if you aren't being accountable to your family, your dreams, your goals. That's it, Scott.
Great job, Tom. So there's a lot of people on here. I think they probably have a lot of questions. You covered a ton of material really, really quickly. And so one of the things that I know you do really, really well, because we've done a lot of them together, and you've had me do a lot of three-way phone calls for you. So let's just say you're setting up a phone call for me to talk to one of your prospects. Can you just do a quick example of how you do that three-way phone call for people real quick?
Absolutely. Well, I certainly want to give you a heads up first, whether it's by text or by phone call or something, letting Scott know, hey, Scott, I've got David O'Leary who's coming on. He's coming us from from San Diego. And here's a little bit of his background. Can I hop on the phone with you tomorrow at 3:30 p.m.? And Scott would say, yeah, sure, that works. Or he's going to give me a different time. Then I get back to David O'Leary, and I said, hey, David, listen, I have an opportunity for you to speak with Scott or Tracy Lewis tomorrow at 3:30. He only has 5-10 minutes to give us. Can you make sure you commit to making sure you being on the phone with me? As a matter of fact, I'll call you at 3:15. I'll answer some questions ahead for you. But at 3:30, we're going to dial Scott in. And this guy is killing it, man. If you want to create a residual retirement income beyond what you ever imagined, he's the guy teaching me, and he'll teach you as well. Boom. I get on the phone. Hey, Scott, please meet David O'Leary. Please meet Scott Tracy. Scott, David's got a few questions for you. David, fire away. Or if David doesn't, or I've already known what David's questions are, I would just lay it up for Scott, and off he goes.
That's awesome. And so, and one of the things that he touched on, and I want to make sure that, you guys really get this, because I think it's so important. The third-party verification is one of the most powerful things that we do. And when you edify the two people that you're talking to, it really creates a different energy in the phone call. The biggest mistake I see agents make all the time, and I'm sure you've experienced this, Tom, Pat, other guys, when you're doing three-way calls, is whoever's setting up the call, when you get ready to close and you're asking closing questions and you're being quiet, and then the person that set up the three-way call jumps in and wants to say something, you have ruined the phone call and you have ruined the close. See, I love silence. Some of you are really uncomfortable when no one's talking. You have to take the power out of that, guys. There's power in silence. And sometimes you have to be quiet and let them respond. When you ask tough questions, they may not have an immediate response. And if the person you set up the phone call for asks a really tough questions and you get uncomfortable for your prospect and you jump in, you've totally ruined the call. And so you just have to sit there and be quiet and listen. Sometimes I may be quiet for 30 seconds. It may be a minute. If I ask a question, I know the next person that talks loses.
And that is so powerful.
I'm not
Absolutely.
going to say anything. I'm going to just let them marinate on my question as long as they want to marinate. Right? So when you're setting up these three, if you're not using the three-way phone calls, that's the second biggest mistake next to not going to lunch and learns. It is one of the most powerful things that we do. I still today, if I've got a big leader, Jonathan Dupree, did I get you on the phone with someone else for a three-way phone call? He's muted, but he's telling you.
Yes, you did.
I did, right? I'm sure I could have answered all of his questions, right? I've been doing this long enough. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to close my people. I'm going to let Gene Frederick do it. I'm going to let Rob Flick do it. I'm going to let Pat close my people. I'll let Kyle close, Bob Mangold. All of them are great. We work together to help not only just close each other, but there's a power when they hear from other people and they realize it's bigger than just the person that they're talking to. There's not one of you on here that hasn't called. There's not one of you on here that has called all of the powerful people you know. And those are the people you should be calling because they're the ones that will get it. You can call all the rookies in the world. I will tell you from experience, they're much harder to recruit than Pat Hayes. Pat Hayes gets it. He's been in the business long enough. He understands it. All right. When he sees it, he sees, like Jonathan said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the bigger and better and more powerful and more experienced they are in the business, the quicker they're going to get it. And so you want to be talking to those people. And when they ask you a question, like, well, tell me about the vesting period at eXp. So, man, that's an awesome question. You know who would be great at answering that? Gene Frederick. Let me get you on the phone with Gene. You got a couple minutes? And then let them start talking to other people. You don't have to recruit anyone. All you have to do is be a connector. If you are a professional connector, you will kill it at eXp. If you try to do it all on your own, you have a job. Who wants another job and who has time for another job? Why are you trying to do it all by yourself? All right, so what questions do we have? Great stuff, guys. Thanks so much for everyone. Bob, Pat, Ian, Kyle, Jonathan, Alfonso, and Tom. Thank you all for just an incredible training. I hope you all got tremendous value from this morning. I hope you all learned something. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes here and answer any questions that you might have. If you want to ask questions of any of the leaders, I see some of them are still on here. We'll open up the mic for anybody who wants to ask a question or type those questions in.
Hey, real quick, Scott, I've been getting some text messages of agents asking the question about what reach app do I use? Let me put my screen up here real quick. If you guys can see it right there, it's circled there in black. It's the green reach app right there with the white little circle there. Everybody see that right there, reach app. Go and download it there. It's awesome. I love it. Is that better?
Thanks, Pat.
You bet.
So if I heard you right, the Reach app, you can you can enter, let's say 100 people, but then when they they reply, it's not replying to the whole 100 people.
Right. Just to you. Yep. Just
That's
to you.
terrific.
Yep. It's awesome.
That's terrific. Do the 100 people see who the other 99 people are?
Nope.
Awesome.
All right, we got a question from Walter. Walter says, when following up with agents that attended Lunch and Learn, how do you approach them, or what questions do you ask over the phone? I'm gonna let Pat Hayes answer that.
Let's see. Okay. What was the question again? I'm sorry. Say it again.
When following up with agents that attended Lunch and Learn to learn how do you approach them, or what questions do you ask over the phone?
Yeah, that's a good question there. What I do is, I ask them, hey, what was your favorite part about it? What did you enjoy the most? And just put the ball back in their court, and they just start talking and talking and talking. It just opens up the conversation, and just wherever it leads to, just go with it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I would ask, what did you like most about it? You must have had a lot of questions afterwards. To tell me what those questions are. So it's a leading question, getting them to talk.
Right.
What did you like most about it? Have you downloaded eXp World yet? Have you gone into has your sponsor taken you into a cloud environment to show you what the training is all about, to share with you the support services that we have? It's incredible. You got to experience it if you haven't. So you got to move them to that next step.
That's right.
Have you filled out the 5-minute application? It's non-committal, but it'll open up a whole bunch of other information, including the independent contractor agreement that you'll definitely want to review before you sign. So that'll give you more time. And oh, by the way, you should do that right away, because it's taking us up to 7 business days to onboard people. So one day you might wake up and you'll be fired up about joining, and it might take 7 more days. So let's just get ahead of the process now.
Yep. Great job, Tom.
Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit about the onboarding process. It's been a challenge since I joined the company 2.5 years ago, because the company just keeps to grow faster and faster and faster. And now we're onboarding about 1,500 agents a month. So I want you to just sit back and think about, if you started a brokerage, right, and it went from 600 to 11,000 agents in 2.5 years, what kind of challenges do you think you would be dealing with, right? I mean, it's never been done before. One national brokerage growing this fast, and it creates chaos. And the wealth and the money is made in the chaos, right? If it was perfect, everyone would already be here, and there wouldn't be there wouldn't be a mess. There wouldn't be what we're creating and building. So be an affiliator of creating solutions, all right? Be an affiliator of being that person that helps communicate and helps get things done. Instead of being a complainer or a whiner, then look for solutions, look for ways to help. This is our company, right? We're building this together. We are not perfect. We have challenges, we have problems. I tell people this, I said, it's like, being in the fraternity, in college or sorority. It was hard as hell to get in. But once you're in, right? It's no different at eXp. It's like the boys club, It may not be easy. It should be easy to get in. We're working to make it easier to get in, but it's not easy to get in right now. And so, but once you're in. And we are getting better every day at Creating Systems. But I would tell you this, we have countries now all over the world that are ready to join eXp. It's not from a lack of having people wanting to join. It's the lack of the resources and the time to get it done. I'm talking to a company right now in Australia that has 4,800 agents, and they want to come to eXp. All right, that's half the size of our company. This is happening all over the world, guys. People are seeing what we're doing and creating. And so we're going to continue to explode, and we're going to continue to not be perfect. So if you're looking for a perfect company, go buy a Mercedes-Benz dealership, right? They've been around a long time, all right? It's a perfect franchise. I'm sure they have problems too. But all I'm saying is we have to be in that mindset of entrepreneurism and creation. And so you have to understand that there's going to be challenges and problems. So what other questions? I'm going to stick around here for 4 more minutes, guys, and we're going to close it down unless we have some really strong questions. A lot of you, we still got 68 people here. So obviously.
It's Tony from Virginia.
Hi, Tony, go ahead.
I got a question. I've been with eXp for about a month, probably about a month and a half. I've been in the business about 24 years, but so I got into it, and I kind of changed my website, put eXp on there. And I had a young lady from Washington. She seen it, and she said she heard some, stuff about eXp. So she contacted me on the face messaging on Facebook, and at that time I was still, getting into the eXp groove and whatever, and how to do the onboarding, because I was going through onboarding myself, still finishing that up. But she contacted me and she asked if she video called me. I said, yeah. So she video called me, we talked, and I told her about eXp or whatever, and then I sent her my link so that she could go to the, walk around eXp world. But just the other day, she Facebooked me back and told me that she had made contact with eXp, and because I think she'd been in the business for 2 years, they put her with what the word I want to use, but they put her with a sponsor, the broker up there, and the thing I'm trying to, I think, because I was thinking that because I had recruited her per se, that I would connect to you, but you mentioned my.
Hey, Tony, this is Scott. You're cutting out really, really bad. So if you want to call me and ask me a question, I'm happy to answer it off of the feed here. But we can only pick up a little bit of what you're saying. So you're more than welcome to give me a call or send me an email, and I'm happy to try to answer your question. But it was cutting out really bad. So anybody else have any questions?
Hey, Scott, Marie from Houston. How are you doing?
I'm good, Marie. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic all the time. It's something new all the time. I get more excited. I just become an energy bunny again. I had a quick question about downloading the host application. I didn't see it on the screen, or where can I get it from?
It's in the chat window. I think John has put it there. John, also, if you want to put your email address there so people can email you directly. But if you look in the chat section.
Marie, just scroll up to 12:02 p.m. and you'll click on the link and it's there.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
So that'd be 11:02 Central Time, your time, Marie.
Hey, Scott, just while I have you here, anything for the eXpCon in New Orleans? Are you going to be doing a night before thing just for Team Disruptor, or after, before, after?
So David Gagnon is doing a agent attraction training, and he's asked myself and Tracy and Brent Gove, Gene Frederick, Rob Flick, some of the other leaders to speak at that. And that's going to be open to everyone. But it is going to be, I think it's either the Saturday or Sunday before the event. If you'll send an email out to me or Tracy, if you're interested in participating in that, and we'll try to get that out on the Team Disruptor page as well with some information. I haven't seen the exact time and date on that, but thanks for asking about that, and we'll get that.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how to nail people down, these busy agents, to actually stop long enough to take a look at a video? They all say, well, I haven't got to it. I've been so busy during the summer surge. Call me in 2 weeks or something like that.
Well, and that happens, right? I mean, agents are busy. It's a busy time of year. They're selling, they're closing lots of deals, and so, I think a lot of it, Joel, comes down to the emphasis that you put on it, and then getting a commitment. And I have found over the years that if I don't get a commitment, and if they don't take me serious, then they're probably not going to take the time to watch the webinar, get on the webinar, watch the video. And so I do sit there. There's several things that I'm hitting on when I'm setting this up with a prospect. And everybody has their own way of doing it. What works for me and my personality might not work for you, but you have to figure out exactly what that looks like for you. So for me, I'll say, hey, Joel, it's Scott, and I have my pitch, and then I say, all right, Joel, you said you could watch the video. I've got you on the schedule to follow up with you Tuesday at 4:00 next week, right? So I'm confirming my follow-up time. I set a time, I pull up my calendar. I let them know that I'm putting it on the calendar. I've got you scheduled at 4:00 next Tuesday to follow up with you. Are you sure you're going to have time to watch the video between now and Tuesday?
Well, I don't know. It's been kind of busy. I'll let you know. I'll call you back.
I tell you what, it sounds like you're too busy to look at anything. So I appreciate your time today. You have a wonderful day. We'll talk again soon.
Got it.
See, I don't need them, and you don't need them. And if you come across like you need people, you're never going to recruit people, right? And so in the beginning, they're either going to take me really serious or they're not. And so if you tell me you don't have time to watch it, then I don't have time to follow up with you. And so if they say, yes, I'm going to have time to watch it, then I'm going to say, okay, Joel, great. Can I count on you to watch the video between now and Tuesday? Can I get your word that you're going to watch it? Am I serious or am I not? Is my time valuable or is it not? Right? So can I count on you? Can I get your word that you'll watch this? If you don't have time, that's great. I won't even bother taking the time to send it to you. It's changing lives. It's unbelievable. It's changing the real estate world. It's the fastest growing real estate company in U.S. history. You told me you needed a way to put your daughter through college. I think this can solve that issue for you. But I need to know for sure that you can watch this video. Can I count on you between now and then? Can I get your word that you'll watch the video?
So I understand that you want to use your upline for that third party to close. Can you give me an example of one of your closes that you would use, assuming somebody's interested, they've watched the video? What would be your script to close somebody?
From what I have found is people, when you've been doing this long enough, people close themselves. I mean, if you listen closely enough, people will tell you where they are in the process. And the challenge that I think most of us have is that we oversell after they're already ready to join, right? And so I will say if I'm not getting a good feed or a good read, I might say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, you're not interested at all at eXp, which I know that's not the case because you wouldn't be talking to me. And 10, you're ready to join right now. You're ready to sign up right this second. Where would you say you are in that process? Honestly, on a 1 to 10, Joel, where are you in that process?
Well, I'm about a 7.
I can appreciate you're at a 7. That's awesome. So let me ask you this. Honestly, Joel, what would it take to get you from a 7 to a 10?
I want to see the numbers, the hard data. What are my agents going to make, and how are they going to benefit from the team structure?
Okay, I can help you with that. I can sit down, or we can do a live meeting, and I can show you that. Outside of that, if you're satisfied with the numbers, are you ready? Is there anything else that would keep you from being a 10?
I'm just not sure that, I have a lot of older agents in my brokerage, and I'm just not sure that they're going to take to this avatar world and be able to get up to speed with the technology.
Okay, well, let's don't worry about your agents right now. Let's worry about you, okay? Your agents, some will, some won't. I think a big percentage of them are going to see it, and they're going to see that you're giving them a massive opportunity outside of what you're already giving them. But I'm talking to you right now as an agent or a broker. Where are you from 1 to 10?
I would say I'm about a 6, but I'm not sure that I can be a recruiter. I'm really good at selling real estate, but I don't know if I can recruit full time.
So you went from a 7 to a 6. What did I say? How did you go from a 7 to a 6 so quickly? So you're a 6. So again, what would it take to get you from a 6 to a 10?
I think I'm just going to have to feel comfortable with the recruiting side of the business.
Well, the recruiting side of the business is optional, Joel. A lot of the agents don't come to eXp to recruit. And, if you want to recruit, that's something I can help you with. All right. But this is a real estate company. So do you want to recruit? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm very selective about who I work with and who I bring onto my team. I turn away agents each week.
Oh, that's great. So it sounds like you're making all the money you need then. You don't need agents, so maybe you don't need to grow. But if you want to grow and you want to build your franchise or build your business, I know you have to recruit because I've owned one, right? And so if you're not recruiting in this business, you're going backwards. But if you don't want to recruit, then that's okay. What other? So it sounds like recruiting is not the issue. So what is the issue? Again, what would keep you from, or what do you need to know to get you to a 10?
Well, we've spent a lot of years building our brand, and I'm just a little concerned about changing, our brand over to under the eXp umbrella and losing control of how we do our business.
Okay, I can appreciate that. I certainly felt the same way when I came to eXp. So if I can show you how to brand yourself and not lose control, is there anything else that would keep you from coming to eXp?
I'm just not ready. We've got a lot of transactions in the pipeline right now, and I need to focus on my business and not be, for lack of a better word, distracted with this business right now. I'm not saying no. I just need to table it because I need to give my clients the full attention that they deserve.
No worries. It sounds like the timing's not right for you. So when would you like for me to follow up with you?
You can follow up with me, later this month.
I tell you what, you have my number later this month. If you want to get some more information, you're more than willing to call me. I'm not sure that I will have the time to follow up with you, quite frankly. My business is exploding, and I have a lot of people that are wanting to join us right now that I'm working with. But that doesn't mean I don't want to work with you. I just know me, and I'm probably not going to follow up with you. So when you're ready to join eXp or get your questions answered, feel free to call me back. In the meantime, you said you're a 6, and if we answer these questions, you would be a 10. So I know a few people that we could talk to that could help you with those questions. Would you like to set up a call with Pat Hayes next week? He rolled his team into eXp. He still keeps his brand. He didn't lose control of his company. But let me ask you this, Joel. Initially when we started talking, you told me that you weren't making enough money out of your brokerage and that you were falling short of the things that you wanted to accomplish. Has something changed between the last time we talked and now? Or do you just not believe that eXp can get you to where you want to go?
I'm not sure that I fully understand the benefit to me as a broker having to pay the company splits. Right now I'm getting a larger percentage of our production than I would having to pay the company my split.
Yeah, so guys, he's going back to questions about a brokerage, right? Which is very different than recruiting an agent. So Joel's bringing up, and this goes to Jonathan, the only way you're going to recruit a broker owner is to get them to be brutally honest. Joel, are you willing to share your financials with me on your brokerage?
Sure.
Okay. When you share your financials with me, and we can sit down, if he's willing to do that, guys, I can pick it apart, because I promise you he's not making any money, bottom line. So the point we've got to get to is, can I get Joel to be honest about the bottom line, right? The only way his brokerage, most of them, the only way they're making money is, are you still selling real estate, Joel?
Yeah, we did about 250 million.
No. Are you still selling real estate? I'm not talking about your brokerage. Are you personally still selling real estate?
Just in my sphere of influence through referrals. Okay. Yes, I do sell some real estate.
All right. So there's a reason why he's still selling, because he's got to support his brokerage, right? And so, again, I'm going to go back to those hot buttons and try to pinpoint the pain, all right? And the pain is, I know Joel's probably not making any money unless he's out selling real estate. Joel, what would it feel like if you didn't have to sell real estate anymore, or if you could build your business to a point where you had an actual exit strategy and you didn't have to babysit your agents every single day? How would that feel?
Well, it'd feel great. That's one reason why my wife and I have bought 10 rentals, and we're building our rental portfolio.
So you like residual income?
Absolutely. That's our long-term strategy, but we don't have any plans to retire anytime soon. We love what we do.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
This is awesome, Scott. Thank you. I would love to go dive into the numbers with you. My prospect got a little cold, and I think he didn't have a good fidelity of the actual numbers under the mega team structure that we were talking to him about. So he hadn't said no. He just kind of put it on the table for now. And I'm kind of wondering how to really get him to see the data as a business owner of how this affects him from an accounting perspective.
So the secret, guys, in recruiting a broker or even a mega team is they have to, you're not recruiting people, you're educating people, right? But you can't educate them until they have an open mind. If someone doesn't have an open mind, I'm not going to spend my time talking to them. I'm not going to try to convince somebody to join eXp. I've never done that. I mean, some of you may be better closers than I am, or better at that approach. I don't want to close people. I want to attract people that I want to work with, right? And so I'm just looking for people that are looking for me. But when someone's open-minded and they're asking good quality questions and they're really looking for answers, then I can do that all day. And as long as I know they're serious and they're moving forward and they're in that contemplation stage, then I'm going to keep that dialogue going as long as it takes. And I'm going to have as many conversations as I have to have with them until they understand the model. And so if you've got someone that's rolling in an office, they have to understand duplication. If they don't understand duplication and the power of duplication, they're going to take a short-term haircut. But the challenge is, when are you going to get off of the hamster wheel? You're not. I know you're not, and you know you're not. And if we be honest with each other, we know that you're going to keep doing what you're doing for the next 30 years, and you're going to keep recruiting agents, and you're going to keep losing agents. And you may make some money in the peak seasons, and when it's tough, you're going to lose money. But you're going to struggle in that model because it's just a bad model. And my only goal is just to get them to show them the difference and how the new model will improve their lifestyle, how it will improve the fact that they don't have to babysit those agents every day. They don't have to have an E&O. They don't have all the liability. They don't have all the overhead. And so you just got to keep going back to the model and sharing the model, and the fact that they can now have the residual, the duplication, and all of that without all the overhead and all the liability. You know, that's a dream for a broker owner. The only reason people don't do it is because they don't believe they can. And do you really want to work with people that don't believe they can do it? Because once they understand it and once they see it, they can't unsee it. It's impossible. And once they see it, they're gonna close themselves and they're gonna join because they've seen it. If they're good and they believe they can do it. And if they don't believe they can do it, you don't want to work with them anyway. You want to run with people that want to run and run fast. Great stuff, man. Appreciate you. All right, who else has got some questions?
Hi, Scott.
Yes.
Cecilia Warren, Norfolk, Virginia. I actually sponsored Tony into eXp. Essentially, he met someone online and he talked to them about eXp, put them in the world, answered her questions, this, that, and the other. And somehow she called corporate, and corporate assigned her to someone else. So essentially, he wants to know how to avoid that and how not to lose someone like that again.
Well, it's really hard to lose someone like that if you have a relationship with them and they really understand the process. And if you sent somebody to eXp World and they ended up on somebody else's team, I would send an email to, excuse me, I got something stuck in my throat. I would send an email to compliance@exprealty.com and explain the details of that. I've never heard of that happening before, but you know, you have to educate your folks, right? They need to understand. If they understand the program, they understand that you're making money from their efforts, and they understand that they need to name a sponsor, and then they name someone else as their sponsor. You either didn't have a good enough relationship with them, or you didn't explain the program well enough to them. And so, you know, if someone did that to me, I would call them back and say, why didn't you name me as your sponsor? Am I the reason you joined eXp? And if they say yes, you're the reason I joined eXp, then I would make sure and I would fight for that person and make sure eXp does the right thing. If the sponsor says, well, no, I really, you know, I appreciate what you did, but I joined because Fabian really did a better job of explaining it to me and I wanted to work with him, then you lost it. Right?
Oh, I'm on the phone. Hey, Scott.
Yes.
Scott. Yes, Tony.
Yes.
Thank you, Cecilia. But go back. Let's talking. But what happened was I met the young lady. She seen my eXp and apparently she had heard.
Tony, I don't want to cut you off, but I really don't want to get into the details of that on this.
Oh, okay.
This is more of a training call. I really want to have that conversation with you, though. So if you want to call me, my cell number, you can write it down. It's 210.
Hold on.
I'm going to put in a text message for you in the chat.
Okay, that'll work.
All right, guys. Any other questions regarding training?
Good morning, Scott.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, as well as to all the presenters. That was just a brand new banking agent. I have just so much to learn, and I am struggling with whether or not to focus on recruiting or whether to focus on selling.
That's an easy answer. You need to focus on selling. If you have a question about which one you need to do, then you need to focus on selling. Recruiting is something that happens over time, and it's a benefit of selling real estate. And you'll know when you feel like you can focus more on recruiting. if you're new and you have that question, or you should focus on something else. Any other questions, guys? Great training. Appreciate all the great questions, all the great feedback. Proud of all you guys. Company continues to just set all kinds of records. You know, I think the thing is, you know, you have to find out what works for you. I think one of the things that you learned today is that there's not one, just like there's not one way to sell real estate, there's not one way to attract agents, right? We all have our own styles. What works for me may not work for you. What works for Tom may not work for you. But we want to, I think the basics are the same, right? And it's really being a good you, being the best you, finding that want, need, or desire and going after it, and then learning how to attract people. And you don't have to sell them on eXp. If you find yourself trying to sell them, then it's probably not a good fit, and it's not the right person, and you don't have enough prospects. To be quite frank, I don't have time to sell anyone on eXp. All right? I'm only talking to people really today that have awesome questions and that are seriously thinking about joining us. And you know, I just think if you know, there's a great quote. I can't remember what the quote is, but you know, basically, if you get someone to do something against their will, they're still of the same opinion still, right? Something like that. But you want to run with people that want it. There's a lot of people that want it, obviously, right? And so you just have to talk to more people. You have to turn over more rocks, right? You like eXp? Nope. You like eXp? Nope. You like eXp? Nope. You like eXp? Oh, here's one. Good. Yay, I got one. You like eXp? You like eXp? Oh, here's another one, right? And so if you do that, you're just running with people that want to run. And you're not worried about the people that don't. And I don't care about the people that don't want to run with eXp. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I don't have time for them. So just turn over rocks, because there's a lot of rocks. And if you turn over enough rocks, it starts to duplicate. 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 8, 8 turns to 16, 16 turns to 32, 64, 128, 256. Financial freedom. Do you want to be free? It starts with 2, and one of those 2 is you. And you are the most important person in the equation. And if you become the right person, and you do it the right way, you will start to duplicate. So I challenge each of you, read more books, attend more trainings, get a mantra. What is your mantra? My mantra is, I am a gladiator. I am a gladiator. Winter is my season. This is my time. I will not be denied. Give me your reasons, give me your excuses, and I will give you results. I am a gladiator. Have a great day, guys. Love you all.
Thank you, Scott.